Hi everyone, how are you doing? So effectively this is a part 3 video. Recently on a trip back to the UK, I was very fortunate to be able to go to an open day at the BFI National Archive that's in Berkhamsted in Hertfordshire. Absolutely fantastic day. I did do a part 1 video in which I took you briefly inside one of the film vaults. Absolutely phenomenal place, 152,000 kilometres worth of film that's stored there from all kinds of British films and TV shows from the last century. And then in the part 2 video, I took you on a little bit of a journey inside some of the rooms inside the National Archive, where all the various guys work on the restoration there. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But in this part 3 video, I now want to talk about the BFI Special Collections. Absolutely phenomenal this is. It's one of the largest film archives in the world. So what they store here is all kinds of movie memorabilia that has come directly from filmmakers. And it may be storyboards, scripts, photos, posters, press books, animation cells, costume design drawings, production design drawings, etc, etc. Any kind of paper archives, it's all there within the National Archive, very carefully organised. As a member of the public, you can actually arrange to go and see some of their exhibits. Keep your hands off, but they'll help you look at some of their memorabilia if you're wanting to do research or anything like that. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff that they have here. So over 600 filmmakers have contributed to this collection, including some very significant directors such as Michael Powell, David Lean, producers such as David Putnam, directors Derek Jarman, Alan Parker, etc, etc. So there's a huge variety of really valuable and special work that is recorded here at the National Archive. So on the open day, we were treated to a presentation from a couple of representatives from the Special Collections unit. Now, we weren't able to actually take photos of what they were going to show us, but as it happens, some of the things that they talked about, I do have kind of related material, I suppose, in my collection. So I'll just now go through what we were able to see on the day. Perhaps one of the bizarrest contributions that I saw on that day wasn't actually any paperwork, but it was from director Ken Loach, and it was a latex mask of Eric Cantona's head, as featured in the film Looking for Eric, and it was signed by Eric Cantona as well. We were able to see the costume designs for the Oscar-winning movie Darling, which starred Julie Christie, directed by John Schlesinger. So the Oscar-winning costume designs were designed by Julie Harris. For David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia, we were able to see an original press book for that, but also, interestingly, alongside it, we were able to see a 1938 script draft for the film that had been disapproved at the time for being too anti-colonial. For Alan Parker's film Bugsy Malone, we were able to see a few costume designs as well as an original mocked-up newspaper that had been used in the film in one of those spinning newspaper sequences, and the headline was to do with splurge guns. So if anybody remembers Bugsy Malone, you'll know it's about child gangsters in that. The cast includes Scott Baio and Jodie Foster, and the kids don't get to fire real bullets, but instead they have machine guns which fire cream and splurge that comes out of them. So yeah, a very fun movie, but yeah, fun to see the actual newspaper that had been mocked up. And interestingly, because in the film the sequence is just spinning that newspaper around, so you're only really seeing the headline, yeah, the rest of the actual newspaper is actually made up from content from an actual newspaper at that time. For director Gurinder Chadha, the director of Bend It Like Beckham and Bargee on the Beach, we were able to see some storyboards from her film Bend It Like Beckham, as well as the fact that she contributed one of her original computers. She'd forgotten the password for it, but if the BFI can get into it, then it will have tons of emails connected with her previous films. I'm not quite sure why she can't actually access her emails on another computer, but there we go. Now, does anybody remember Alan Wicker and his show Wicker's World? He was an absolutely fantastic journalist and traveller, went around the world, interviewed lots of various people. And what we were able to see at the archive was Alan Wicker's actual passport, together with his diary, which had a series of notes on the page that was open. And those notes were related to questions that he was preparing as he was on his way to meet Sean Connery to talk about him getting the role of James Bond. Now, Star Wars. Who isn't fascinated with Star Wars? Definitely within the archive we got to see something quite fascinating, and that was a marked up script and a whole load of Polaroid photos. So Anne Skinner was the lady who was in charge of continuity on the set of Star Wars, and so what we were able to see at the National Archive was her marked up script, including some script changes that ended up being excised from the film, character names that changed, such as Luke Skywalker being called Luke Starkiller, and Polaroid photos where she could then get control of the continuity. So also there were photos of people such as Koo Stark. She had a role in the film originally. Koo Stark, perhaps famous for being the girlfriend of Prince Andrew years ago. So yeah, really fascinating stuff there to be able to see her marked up script and those Polaroid photos. Director Derek Jarman was represented there as well. Now, Derek Jarman was a director who kept a lot of scrapbook-style diaries throughout his life. And so within the archive, they showed one of these diaries with a page that was open. But interestingly enough, my sister has actually been to Derek Jarman's house, Prospect Cottage, which is situated in Dungeness. And she had bought a book about Derek Jarman. And it just so happens that the book that she has the very page that we got to see at the National Archive that day. So yeah, quite a bizarre coincidence. But yeah, I can show you that page via her book. And then also we got to see some of the film journals and writings of an underappreciated female director, Wendy Toy. And she had a film actually in the Laserdisc Criterion collection, which is 3 Cases of Murder. She directed one segment of this, 3 short films included in this, which were adaptations of Somerset Maugham stories. She did the one called In the Picture. So yeah, little known director, underappreciated. I will definitely say to you, if you want something a little bit different this Christmas, then do please check out her short film, which you can find on YouTube, called On the 12th Day, which is also from 1955. A really, really charming film that's filmed in Eastman colour. And it's a film that is related to the 12 Days of Christmas song. So if you know that, on the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree, etc., etc. This film takes things to absurdist levels because it has a character who is visiting his lover each day of the 12 days and literally presenting her with all the things that are mentioned in that song. And so by the end of the film, this poor woman in her household is having to deal with lords a-leaping and choirs singing and geese laying, as well as partridges in pear trees, etc. So yeah, it's a lot of fun if you can find that film and watch it. And then finally, something quite special really related to this film, My Fair Lady. We were able to see not only Cecil Beaton's actual costume design drawings, for which he won an Oscar, but we got to see the actual Academy Award as well. So whilst I can't show you the actual Academy Award, what I can show you within this Laserdisc box set is some of the design drawings that we were able to see the originals of on the day. Okay, I hope that was of interest to you. I will put a link below in the descriptions of how you can get to see more information about the special collections. And like I say, they are available for people to actually make bookings to go and view some of this material if you're doing research. Keep your grubby hands off it though. Yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching. I will be back with more videos soon, including a video about some of the movies that I picked up on my trip over to the UK. And I also got to meet somebody as well. I'll let you know who that is. Okay, hopefully I will see you again. Thanks very much for watching. All the best to you. Bye-bye.